My life goal has been to create music that has both the structure and narrative coherence of a composition in terms of form, etc., and then also at the same time having that spontaneity. I balance both being a musician, a performer, and a composer. And I think in my career I began as a classical pianist, and then I got involved in jazz, and then I sort of made my reputation in New York in the early 70s as a pianist. But I was always interested in composition, always fascinated with it. And when I remember in high school I read Birth of Tragedy by Nietzsche, and I became fascinated with the idea of creating an opera. So finally in 1986, my first opera, X, The Life and Times of Malcolm X, premiered at New York City Opera. And I've been working in that area quite a bit ever since.
He's a composer, of course, but he's not in the composition area. So in many ways, you have people coming to study with him who are sort of moving outside of the realm of the composition area. I mean, his enthusiasm and love for music is contagious, and you feel it, and he speaks with complete authority. And he's an encouraging person. You know, he's engaged and positive and full of laughter, and you know, students love that.
I love writing for large forces. I love the theatrical element. I love working in collaboration with other artists, which I think is great, because usually as a composer it's a lonely experience, and it's much more fun and much more, I think, interesting to collaborate.
Really what's notable about his music, in addition to his ability to synthesize elements of Asia, you know, the Javanese gamelan, African music, aspects of Indian music, and a really broad array of the jazz idiom, is that he's been dedicated to integrating improvisers into his ensembles.
In my music, a lot of times I'd like to refer to music in the past, particularly from the jazz sources. I'm always thinking about Duke Ellington and Charles Mingus and Thelonious Monk and John Coltrane and other artists I think are incredible musicians, as well as classical sources like, you know, Stravinsky and Schoenberg and Berg. But it's important for me because I think that that sense of referencing different kinds of music, it deals with memory. And opera, because it's a long form, it's very important to have that sense of memory, sense of like how it's always reflecting on itself and also reflecting on other things.
Working with Tony is a real pleasure, because not only does he give me a meaty job to do, but he also asks me to be myself. He always pushes me too. The next piece is always harder than the last. He's asking me to do more, but he also gives me a lot of improvising ability, so I'm able to throw myself in fully, both as an improviser and as an interpreter.
Well, I think my work is a lot of times is a commentary on our social situation and political situation. X certainly function in that way. Tanya in another way, in kind of more of a comic way. I think that's part of the function of opera too, because an opera is a rumination. It allows you to take the time to look at a subject from different points of view, and also to look at something in depth. What's behind it? What are the ideas behind it? And also, what is the emotional strand behind it? These stories tell the story of how we got where we are, who we are, where we come from, also where our traditions and culture comes from.
Musically, what's important about his work is that he's able to synthesize lots of different musical elements in an authentic way. I mean, this guy has incredible ears. He really hears with detail to harmony and rhythm and form, really better than anyone I know.
I never look at my work as entertainment, in the sense of someone comes to something and they just, you know, oh, I'm just going to have a good time. I don't look at it that way, because I think it's an obligation to tell a story and create an occasion in which there's an intellectual engagement that's not just mental, not just about the mind, but also about your emotions. And so hopefully I like to always engage with the audience emotionally, and also to take them on a journey to unexpected places.